So far in the first 3 months of this year, even though we haven't even finished 3 full months of this year, 238 pieces of legislation have been pushed at the state level by bigoted Republicans targeting the LGBTQ community. 238 pieces of legislation in under 3 months to make this already marginalized group marginalized even further. And of course, to put their very lives in danger. Now, since 2018, we've actually seen 670 pieces of anti-LGBTQ legislation pushed by these bigoted Republicans at the state level. But obviously, with 238 so far this year, this is the most we've ever seen in the shortest amount of time. And there's a reason this is happening right now. And of course, there's a reason why it's at a fevered pitch right now. Republicans need something to run on in the 2022 midterms. Mitch McConnell has told them we're not putting out a platform, so of course they can't run on policy. So they had to create this fictitious boogeyman. And the boogeyman, unfortunately for now, is the transgender community. According to these pieces of legislation, the transgender community is somehow a threat to your way of life. They're a threat to the sports that you love so much. Here's an interesting piece of trivia. So far this year, Fox News has run 146 segments on transgender athletes. Out of 146 segments on their network, they have found 6 transgender athletes here in the United States. 6. That's it. 6 that are, I guess at the competing level. That's it. And yet we have legislation for millions of people to make sure we restrict the rights of 6 people. But Republicans think this is a big deal. They think this is a huge problem that affects each and every one of us in our daily lives. Hell, we can't walk out and get the paper without a transgender athlete, I guess, somehow getting in the way. They're doing this to not just divide the country, right? They've done that long ago. They're doing this to convince their low information base of morons that this is the only thing that matters right now. Or that critical race theory is the only thing that matters right now. Or that these horrible books in those school libraries are the worst things happening right now. This is targeted harassment from Republican lawmakers against the LGBTQ community. And they're only doing it to get their base riled up so they'll turn out in the midterms and give them another term in office. In the meantime, we have families that could lose their transgender children because the parents were accepting of them and wanted to get them the gender-affirming care that they have requested. We have children that are being targeted by this legislation that will end up doing some form of self-harm, which unfortunately is already at a huge, disproportionately large within that community, right? They're more prone to self-harm than other parts of the population, and that is what is going to happen with this legislation. I did an interview recently with Tiffany Starr. You can see it right here on the Ring of Fire channel, where we talked about the fact that people are going to die because of this legislation, because Republicans want to target these communities. This is now one of the biggest deals of 2022. Same thing with the banning of books, same things with the criminalization of teachers, which also goes to the LGBTQ legislation out there. Same thing with critical race theory, all of this. These are the biggest issues of 2022 right now, because we have people that are under attack by Republican legislators, And these attacks are not going to stop. They're not going to stop because the Republicans think these are winning issues that are going to force their bigoted, low information bases to show up in droves in the midterms. And unfortunately, right now, it appears they may be correct about that. And if that does happen, The 238 pieces of legislation we've already seen so far in 2022 are going to be nothing compared to what they're going to come out with if they get to retain power after this year's elections. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for fresh content every single day of the week. Just smash that subscribe button, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, and share the video.